Welcome everyone to this special mini-series. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and now it's finally happened. But before we do that, let's just do a quick restroom review. So I've been wanting to go to an Indy car race. After watching the 2007 Indy 500 live on TV, I've been glued to it since. I've always wanted to go to a race as a kid, but my family was not in a great financial spot, and in my adult life, at least I can pay for the basic necessities, sort of. Anyways, taking transit to the racetrack is quite a challenging task. They are far away from the main city, and the transit of this country leaves more to be desired. So when trying to find a race close to DC, there's Lexington, Ohio, but there's virtually no transit accessibility there in that area whatsoever. So option B was Indianapolis with the transit accessibility via Indigo. And there's intercity travel options there too. But the plans are pretty pricey. Greyhound requires switching buses, and knowing Greyhound, it's one of many issues. And Amtrak, they were the cheapest and they were the least problematic. So Amtrak it is, and here we are on the Cardinal line. And here we are going on the last bits of the Virginia Railway Express. That is Broad Run, and now we have passed the DC region into uncharted territories. So let's get into the basics of the Cardinal. This line goes from New York to Chicago, covering Philadelphia, DC, Alexandria, Virginia, Stanton, White Sulphur Springs, Charleston, West Virginia, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, to name a few. This used to be a part of the James Whitcomb Riley service, where it used to terminate in Cincinnati. Then under Amtrak ownership, it expanded to Newport News, and later on it relocated to Washington, D.C., and finally its current terminus at the Big Apple. The Cardinal runs only 3 times a week. DC departures are 10:59 a.m. on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, while the Indy departures are at 12:15 a.m. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. This means that it's absolutely possible to pull a Boss Wash Night Owl, which is a well-known travel hack where you can take the midnight Northeast Regional train from Boston to DC and vice versa, and spend more time there without the need of spending the money at a hotel at night. I'll cover that trip more later on in the summer, but for now I've applied this logic to the Cardinal, and thankfully there's an IndyCar race happening on a Saturday. It's not the Indy 500, but still fun weekend nonetheless, with the minor leagues also racing at the racetrack as well. So based off of word of mouth, this is what many people consider to be the most scenic route in the East Coast region, which in my personal opinion I do agree. After being on this trip, I've yet to see some of the other routes, so again, based out of like say the NER and this one, I will definitely go for the Cardinal for scenic views. And most of the videos I've seen, I've only seen one side, and what you are currently seeing right now, that is not the side. But even in this side that I'm filming right now, it's still beautiful. It is still stunning and gorgeous, in my personal opinion. Yes, you see a lot more greenery and rock formations, and when we go into the New River portion of it, you won't be able to see most of the towns because we only go on one side of the mountain But regardless, at least to me, I do love looking at the natural fauna and the rock formations. And it just gives, like, say, a beautiful time to just relax and just reflect. And speaking of enjoying the views, please keep in mind that Wi-Fi reception is very spotty here. It picks up once you get into a station or in a town that has a little bit of density that can carry some Wi-Fi reception. So otherwise, along with enjoying the views, make sure you get a book, download some music, and just enjoy the beautiful views of what this country has to offer. Anyways, I will give you a montage.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please do not take any empty seats that come up. If somebody gets off at Stanton, don't take that seat, please. We appreciate it.
The sun was still high as the afternoon continues, but the mountains covered it, leaving a shadow cast on the tiny towns that once were thriving, but now with a slow disintegration that cast another shadow of its rich past it once had. You had places like Sayre, Prince, Sermon, once was prosperous, but remains with its head high despite its major losses. Then there are places like Hinton, Meadow Creek, Montgomery, that are in a much stronger background, but with missing pieces. I always find pre-modern ruins and urban decay hauntingly beautiful. There's a charm that it gives that I try to explain to myself, but I can't. But it's very powerful knowing people still live in these towns. It's a continuation of history, dedicated to how proud you are of where you live. West Virginia is a very underrated place that really shines when you go there.
I found a comfortable position to sleep. It's very rare for you to actually do this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll have to do it again in Boston. Oh wait, I forgot. I gotta do the stretch stop at Huntington. Oh. Alright. Here I am finally at Huntington. Yeah, I'm going to say that. It counts, even though it's a stretch stop, that I visited Huntington. I don't make the rules.
After getting as much sleep as I can, I was greeted with the dark flatlands of Indiana, super close to our destination as the sun is just about to creep in. So I gathered my stuff to leave the train and enter into the unknown.
Here we go. We made it. We are in Indy.
Tune in next time as I will be exploring a chilly downtown Indy. Subscribe for more and enjoy your day.